All right. What's up, everyone? Back again with another week. So, looks like Jonathan just glitched out. I'm sure he'll be back soon. But, um, today was roster cut day. As of filming, tomorrow it'll have been yesterday, or when this video goes up, it'll have been the day before. But, lots of cuts today, lots of notable cuts. Um, and we're just going to talk about that and how players have looked throughout the preseason, and that's about it. Um, so probably the most surprising was, oh my god. All right. We're talking about the preseason cuts and how players have looked through the preseason.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
So the
I know.
Texans cut Desmond King, their slot corner, who was supposed to. I mean, he was supposed to start, really, but it's looking like they're going to play Jimmy Ward in the slot instead. Or maybe just another corner. I don't know. They did have a lot of corners, but Desmond King was one of the better slot corners in the league, and now he's on the open market. So that's intriguing for teams who run mostly zone heavy schemes. Um, Bailey Zappi and Malik Cunningham both got cut by the Patriots, so now Mac Jones is their only quarterback rostered. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of which, the Patriots, they traded Nick Folk to the Titans for a 2025 seventh, and the Saints traded Will Lutz to the Broncos for a 2025 seventh. So a few kicker trades going down. Um, the Titans cut Michael Badgley, the Broncos cutting Brett Maher, and the Browns cut Cade York, and replaced him by trading for Dustin Hopkins from the Chargers. So just some kicker news. Um,
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor will not be traded. Colts kept him on the physically unable to perform list, so he's out for at least 4 weeks for them, and will not get traded until the deadline, most likely, if he even does.
Hey, speaking of Jonathan,
I don't know, dude. Jonathan is like in and out. I don't know what's going on with him.
I'm back. I'm back.
Okay,
Jonathan.
okay. He's back. Um, Other news beyond that, Cardinals cut Colt McCoy, who was supposed to be their starter week one because Kyler Murray's on the PUP, and he's going to be out for the first 4 weeks at least, recovering from his torn ACL. So
Did you
now it's
say?
looking
Did
like
you say?
Josh Dobbs
Did you say
starter
McCoy?
week one. Yeah, Colt McCoy.
Love that dude, McCoy.
Oh,
You don't even know who he is. Stop lying to yourself.
Colt McCoy is the GOAT, but
Hey, Coach
You been
McCoy,
signed yet?
bro. Coach McCoy.
Um, Speaking of Jonathan's team, the Dolphins cut Miles Gaskin.
What?
Unfortunately, best
Yeah.
running back of all time, paired perfectly with Tua, and it's just unfortunate. And they also traded Noah Benogany to the Cowboys
What? Baloney.
for um, it was a depth corner. I know.
Oh.
Kelvin Joseph, maybe.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Kelvin
Man,
Joseph is good.
he's not. He's not, unfortunately.
I'm so mad about that gas can trade. Gas can cut.
No, he got cut. He's on the open market.
Gas can. Really?
Anyone can sign him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to sign him, but man,
He is
Yeah.
the goat. He is the goat. So,
For the Dolphins. For the Dolphins, yeah.
Gaskin is definitely the greatest running back in NFL history.
okay. I'd
For
agree.
the Dolphins. For the Dolphins, yeah.
For the Dolphins and whatever team he goes to. And then Noah
Yeah.
Benahin, I mean, he's
I mean,
he's
if every team he goes to is the Dolphins, then yeah. True.
yeah. Noah Benahin, he's awful.
Hey, let's go back to that baloney dude. Man, that's some news.
Who?
You know the dude, baloney?
Who's
I
baloney?
don't.
You just said it, Will. Something baloney.
Do you recall the team?
No, I wasn't listening. I says our baloney.
Well, then
position?
obviously you heard wrong.
Okay. Wait,
All right.
who's the dude you were talking about before Gaskin?
Oh shoot. Um, I was talking about the kicker trades and
Yeah,
then
Nick
Jonathan
Foles.
Taylor.
Yeah, JT.
Um,
Screw the Colts.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, honestly.
Yep.
So really
Well,
not much more
hey,
notable things in terms of the preseason cuts. Everything was pretty standard.
Yeah, the
Um,
Patriots
uh,
are idiots.
yeah,
Dysfunctional organization.
a
hey,
couple lower level players got traded around, but it's nothing too
Dan Feeney for a
massive, I'd
6th.
say.
you
Yeah,
know,
it's not important.
hey,
It is to the Dolphins.
Speaking of outside linebackers, got a
It's
new one
not. It's not what we were talking about.
up and coming, Cersei Lions, number 36. Just want
Oh,
to
you're
let
number
you know.
36.
Mm-hmm.
So you a cover linebacker then?
I'm just a linebacker.
Oh, so they did you dirty.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I actually am a cover
No,
linebacker, and
they had to give you a 40 or a 50 number if you were a run stopper.
well, I'm outside. Okay, so I cover, I blitz, everything.
So you're everything.
All for one and one for all, whatever that means. Yep.
You're just an idiot.
It just.
Okay.
Hey, I'll tell you what though. Let's go to that. Back to that baloney dude. Hey, I'm. I want you to.
You're just hungry, Bennett.
No, I swear, you said somebody. His last name sounded like baloney.
Oh man, I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Pretty obvious.
Okay.
Well, the
I see
Dolphins have looked
obvious.
awful in preseason.
Oh yeah, dude. Tua looked bad when he played.
Well,
He threw a
Um,
pick on the first
I
play.
mean,
He's looked
yeah.
good since then.
as expected. As expected. You
Oh,
know,
shut up.
Tua's
He looks a lot better than C.J. Stroud, that's for sure.
Tua's not up to Dak's level yet.
Well, he's better than Dak.
You
Well,
know.
how do you feel about C.J. Stroud?
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty pro ready coming out of Ohio State, but as of right now, it is not translated with his receiver play being considerably worse. I mean, realistically, I know most people say college rosters cannot compete with NFL rosters. That Ohio State wide receiver core for the 2 years CJ Stroud was starting, top half
Wait
NFL
a
wide
minute.
receiver core for those 2 years.
Yeah,
I'm
Did you
being
Marvin
say?
totally honest.
Harrison. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. The level of receivers he had at Ohio State was significantly better than they are for the Texans. I mean, you've got a good tight end in Dalton Schultz, and you've got a few decent pieces: Robert Woods,
Tank Dell.
Nico Collins, Tank Dell, John Mechie. But
John Mechie's elite.
I'd argue,
Yep.
honestly, none of them are as good as Jackson Smith and Jigba, or Marvin Harrison, or
John,
Chris
Certainly not
hey, hold
Marvin.
Olave,
on.
or Garrett Wilson,
Jackson
Or
Smith,
Garrett
who?
and Jigba.
Okay. Okay, bro.
I tried to be extra good pronouncing the J and everything.
Not what you
Yeah.
said, but okay.
In
No.
Jigba.
Yeah, you definitely said okay. Anyways, move on.
Yeah,
My
we get it.
fault. Okay, moving on. Stroud has not looked good, right? Like, the Texans have even considered making him not the week 1 starter, making it Davis Mills. Now, he
Mills.
was named the week 1 starter, but it has been way closer than it should be based off of Stroud's talent. He's an excellent deep ball passer, um, amazing accuracy on all levels of the field, and he's a pretty good processor. It's just we haven't really seen him that much under pressure. Like, we've seen him when the play breaks down, he can leave the pocket. Like, he's got good athleticism, but when he's truly under pressure, like with hands in his face and players rushing him from both sides, he doesn't know what to do because he was never in those situations at Ohio State until the Georgia game.
Yep,
Okay.
understandable.
Wait. So this goes back to the Jared Goff comp. So his ceiling is
Jared
Jared
Goff,
Goff 2.0
Jared Goff with like plus athleticism.
with plus athleticism.
All right,
Okay.
let's talk about
Otherwise known as Dak Prescott if he knew how to throw a better deep ball.
Listen,
Interesting.
don't be dissing my boy Dak. All right.
That's not a diss. I'm saying CJ Stroud has a pretty good upside. CJ Stroud has like borderline top 10 upside. It's just I thought he might reach that year 1. It's obvious that he won't. It's obvious that he cannot elevate a bad receiving core
Hey,
or
speaking
a
of,
mediocre offensive line.
hey, speaking of defensive ends,
That's not what we were talking about.
wait, hold on. I meant,
Boy.
speaking of quarterbacks, how's Deshaun Watson doing?
Deshaun Watson.
He's looked like it's been shaky, like play to play.
He'll be a top 5 quarterback by the end of the season.
Jonathan, you're gonna regret saying that one so bad.
The Browns are winning the division easy. The Bengals are coming in third.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I might even have the Steelers coming in third and the Bengals last in the division.
Steelers have looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Pickett looks like, I mean, before this season, I would have said that Pickett had like very clearly a bottom 5 starting arm in the NFL. And now I think he's elevated it to where he's at least like in that Ryan Tannehill, Dak Prescott level arm.
Okay,
Whereas
bud.
like
bud.
a slightly like just an average starting arm.
Yeah.
So you're saying
And
Dak's average?
I'm saying he has an average throw power, velocity. Like, obviously, Dak is way more accurate with that than a lot of those guys with his caliber arm talent, but
Dang right, bud. Dang right.
but Pickett looks really good. His accuracy outside the numbers, especially on the sideline, looks incredible. But even targeting the middle of the field, he hit Freiermuth up the seam for a whole shot touchdown. Like, I think that there's a real chance that every team in the AFC North finishes with a winning record this year.
Yeah, probably.
And like I would not be surprised at all if the Steelers finish with 10 wins or something of that sorts.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean they do have a third place schedule that they're playing with, so
speaking of, how's that gay dude doing?
Which dude?
you're gonna get us canceled, dog.
No, his name is Gay. Wow,
Oh,
Will.
wait, Matt Gay?
Wow, Will.
The kicker? For the
Him.
Colts?
Yep. How's the gay dude doing?
I don't watch the Colts. It's it goes against my religious beliefs.
Oh, because
That's
you can't
fair.
watch. Yeah,
That's very fair.
yeah. Because they
We
suck
forgot
so
about
bad.
the most important Steeler, though.
Deshaun Watson?
George Pickens?
No. The center that they moved to fullback for training camp. He's elite. Have you seen that dude?
No.
Catching passes. Oh, man. If you haven't seen him, I don't remember what his name is. Look him up.
It's Tyler Smith.
Monty
Yep.
Pottebaum?
What?
That sounds right. I don't know. I
Armadillo.
know they had a...
Yeah, I don't know, but he's elite. Okay.
Okay, I don't know. I don't even know if he made the roster. Like,
Bro, just bring the fullback back.
For real.
It's the most vital position in NFL history. Just ask Larry Zonka or Mike Allstott.
yeah.
Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
definitely. Okay. Um, any other teams that have looked like really good or bad? Packers have looked
Cowboys.
good.
Yeah.
Packers have outperformed my expectations. I thought Love was going to be like not good.
Cowboys no good, like
And he
always.
looks like he's going to be an average quarterback, like a Jimmy Garoppolo level quarterback. With like Dak Prescott traits, which
Inconsistent.
is yeah, I feel like Love's gonna have some good weeks, some bad weeks. He's got a really good arm. Accuracy is not where you'd like it to be, for sure. You can
Hey,
definitely see his lack of experience with the accuracy, but
hey, speaking of love, how's that other gay dude doing? You know,
which one?
remember that lineman that got like turned like transgender or something?
Oh, Carl Nassib?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not on a roster right now, I'm pretty sure.
Is he still in the NFL?
Probably not for long.
Why did you say that?
He hasn't actually played in like 2 years.
Um,
Why do you think
Jalen
I
Waddle
said it?
said to be ready for week 1 after missing 2
Really?
weeks of practice. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm
He's
not
going to be.
surprised, dude. That's the reason the Titans didn't re-sign David Long is because he's just so injury prone, and it's not like um fluke injuries, right? It's not like tearing your ACL 1 year, right? Where it's just that's bad luck. Like you can't control that. It's nagging injuries, and for David Long, it's been mostly like hamstring and stuff, which like it's reoccurring, and he's almost guaranteed to miss 5, 6 games a year because of it, and it's unfortunate, but that's the cost of David Long, but you get a very good linebacker when he's on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Is he already hurt again? I mean, Jakeem Grant's out for the second straight season. He
Yeah,
already
dude,
tore
that's
something.
rough. So is Ryan Jensen. Um,
Yeah, Ryan Jensen
so
gets hurt.
tore his ACL in training camp last year, and they didn't put him on season-ending IR. They waited and put him on um, short-term IR, and he returned in the playoff game against the Cowboys and looked bad. Like he did not look like Pro Bowl center Ryan Jensen. He looked bad, right? Robert Hainsey, who was their fill-in center, looked way better last year. So, we go through all this training camp and everything this offseason, and apparently Jensen still doesn't look good. And so he gets his knee checked out by like actual professionals, and they're like, dude, your knee is so messed up. Like, you've been playing on this bad knee for the entire offseason, and he's having like full repair surgery and everything. There's a good chance he never plays football again, which is unfortunate because he's such a good player. But, um, I mean, those types of injuries for linemen can be detrimental.
very much so. Poor Ryan Jensen and poor Jakeem Grant out for another season. Just Dolphins
Yeah,
like him.
dude.
And
Hey,
I've heard rumors that the Browns might trade for Cordell Patterson, which I would like that for them. It also
yeah,
gives them kind of a lightning to Nick Chubb's thunder if
yeah, and I don't
they
think,
decide to use him like that.
yeah, definitely. And I don't think he has a spot in Atlanta anymore with Bijan coming in.
Yeah,
And then they have,
Bijan and Algier, that's a really crowded room. I think if the Browns would give up like a fourth or a fifth for Cordero, I would do that in a heartbeat if I was the Falcons,
yeah,
rather than just letting him walk next offseason.
yeah, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off what you said a little bit. How's the Marcus Lawrence doing?
He's looked pretty good. Obviously, he's regressing slowly. He's getting up into that age 30, 31 season, which, some edge rushers are still very good at that time. Like,
Like
Von
Marcus
Miller's
Lawrence?
still a very
Yeah.
good player when healthy. Khalil Mack. But, I mean, even you can see with those players, regression. And DeMarcus Lawrence was always like top 10-ish edge rush guy. Like, I would say bottom of the top 10 lists for his prime. And now he's more of that, like, prototypical number 2 edge rusher. I'd say he's maybe the third or the fourth best number 2 in the league right now. And he still looks to have that power off the edge, and he's still an amazing run defender. And he'll be very good next to Michael Parsons for at least next year. I don't know if they retain him after this year, honestly,
So
with
how's
his cap hit. But
didn't the Cowboys trade for a quarterback?
you did trade for Trey Lance, which is very interesting. If the Cowboys are smart, this is how they're viewing it. If Dak plays like the 12th best quarterback for the 5th year in a row, they trade him for a first after this season for the final year of his deal, and they start Lance on that rookie deal for 2 years, pick up the 5th year option, all of that.
But
If
is it
Dak elevates his game while being on the hot seat, you let Dak play out his deal, and then you start Lance on his 5th year option for that 1 year. And that's kind of like a prove it deal for Lance. Now, there's also a chance that the Cowboys front office is really stupid and they just traded a 4th round pick for a backup when they already have one of the best backups in the league in Cooper Rush. We don't
yeah?
know. I
Is,
can't read Jerry Jones's mind, but I'd like to believe it's the first one.
isn't that dude trash? Trey Lance?
Trey Lance, he's just raw. Like um, he played one college season, and then he was out for the COVID season in 2020. So he played one season of college, and other than that, the last time he actually played was high school. Right? He redshirted his freshman year with the 49ers. Pretty much, I don't even know if he played. Like, he might have played snaps, but he didn't start a game. And then he started 2 games for them last year, but he played like actually 1, and it was in a monsoon. We just don't know if Trey Lance is gonna be good. He's definitely not good right now because he couldn't beat out Sam Darnold for the number 2 job in San Francisco.
Okay.
But I think he still has potential.
Let's think
And
about
I
this.
think the Cowboys see that.
Just think about it reasonably. The 49ers traded 3 first round picks for a man. They decided that he was good enough to be the starter 1 year. That's his leg, freak injury. Comes back the next year, and they decide he isn't even good enough to be the backup. Now think about it. You said he played 1 season in college. He played 1 season in college, missed a year, and then they decided, let's trade 3 first round picks for this guy.
He was so good for North Dakota State in that 1 year. It was 28 touchdowns, no picks. He was picking defenses apart. He also had incredible athleticism. In
But
hindsight, not the move. Like if you look at the 10 players drafted behind him, like the 10 picks behind him, terrible draft pick. But at the time, no one was saying like, "Oh, that's a terrible move for the 49ers. Why would you trade that for Trey Lance?" They were like they understood the upside. That would have
yeah,
been like I don't know, imagine the Raiders had traded up to get Anthony Richardson. People would have been like, "Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Set him behind Garoppolo." Right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
yeah. Speaking of, wait, how do you think McCarthy's gonna be doing calling offensive plays?
About 30 delay of game penalties in a row.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Um I think it's a downgrade from Kellen Moore,
Definitely.
but especially in the pass game, I think Kellen Moore had a super well designed pass game. Um, Now, obviously, Kellen Moore's not perfect, but he's like a top 12 to 16 offensive mind in the NFL, which is perfectly fine. And they fired him as a scapegoat for Mike McCarthy, who has never been able to lead the Cowboys to serious playoff success despite them having a top 5 roster for every
Dang right,
year under
dang
Mike
right.
McCarthy.
See, there's a
Now,
reason that the Packers got rid of the dude. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, does Jerry Jones really expect Mike McCarthy to be great?
Apparently. Well, he thinks he's already great. That's the thing, right? Like,
Does he? Does he really though, or does he just want to have a beer with the guy every night?
I think Jerry Jones is a very traditional, let's keep this coach until we absolutely can't anymore,
Yeah.
type of owner, right? That's what they did with Jason Garrett. Um, like,
Yeah.
obviously, there's a reason that they're keeping around Mike McCarthy, and it's because of Jerry Jones. Objectively, Mike McCarthy should not be the Cowboys head coach anymore. I get he's led them to um, double-digit wins the past 2 years and would have done it the past 3 years had they not get injured in 2020. But for their roster talent, um, to have that little playoff success, it's really astonishing, honestly. Um, and the fact that they scapegoated Kellen Moore to to blame him for McCarthy's shortcomings is really just it's not a good move.
You
Like it
know,
looks bad on the Cowboys.
you know.
100%.
Here's what the problem is. It's just all a bunch of old dudes in there. With the Cowboys. We need some young bucks in there, some fresh meat. You know what I'm saying? Fresh meat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was Kellen Moore. That was Kellen Moore, and they fired him. And now he's getting to work with Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Quentin Johnston and Gerald Everett in LA. And good for Justin Herbert. He finally gets a real offensive coordinator, but I would have also liked to see Dak with like the best defense in the league and probably one of the best supporting casts he's ever had on offense, at least healthy. Um, with Kellen Moore calling plays. It's unfortunate. Maybe McCarthy can evolve his offense, but the problem with McCarthy, um, scheme wise, not as a head coach, but offensively, because he will be calling plays, is he hasn't evolved his West Coast type offense since like 2011. It's been the same offense. Um, and that's obviously not going to work because defensive coordinators adapt and they figure out how to stop that stuff. Um, and that's why McCarthy got fired with the Packers. He was calling their offensive plays, and Aaron Rodgers was sick of it, rightfully so. And he was like, fire McCarthy or trade me out of Green Bay. And so they fired McCarthy. Um, I don't know. I would not be I'd not be shocked if the Cowboys had another disappointing season where they like won 12 games and lost in the divisional round and they kept McCarthy, which
Yeah.
bro, which
My fault.
which honestly that seems like the most realistic scenario. But I hope the Cowboys, like I genuinely hope the Cowboys are really good next year because that is such a fun team. It's such a young team. And I really just, I mean, I hope that Dak can get a ring because as much as I think the guy is like not top 10 and he's like very much overrated by the media,
Oh,
he's a great human being. So, love
yeah.
to see him get a ring.
He's a nice guy. You know, he supports sleeping well with all the mattress commercials. He's
I forgot
America's
he did
team.
those. Yeah.
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 I hope he gets a ring too. As a matter of fact, I think they might make the Super Bowl this season, and then it's a toss-up. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cowboys Bengals might be my Super Bowl pick, which would
Cowboys
be a
Bengals.
really
Hey.
fun Super Bowl.
I tell you what though, this year, Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year.
That's very possible. Honestly,
It is.
that might be my pick.
Should have got it last year.
It's gonna be Parsons or Garrett, I think,
Miles
because of voter
Morales.
fatigue. Like, hey, it probably would be Bosa if he wasn't gonna hold out, but it looks like he's not gonna play for the 49ers.
Oh, he's gonna
without
play.
a new contract. No, without a new contract, I don't think he will.
Oh no,
Well,
he'll play. He'll
And
play.
well,
then
the
Chris
49ers.
Jones would be the other candidate, and he's also holding out. So I'm thinking it's probably Parsons or Garrett. And it'll just be probably whichever one of them gets more sacks. To be
Yep,
completely
because
honest.
that's all people care about.
Why would Nick Bosa not play for the 49ers?
He wants a new contract. He's still on his rookie deal, and he's the best, second best edge rusher in the NFL. Like he's in the conversation for the best edge rusher in the NFL.
Dang right, second
And he's
best.
still on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Hey, 'cause
He
who's the
wants
first
that
best?
mega extension. He wants 30+ million a year for 5 years. And the 49ers don't want to give that to him, which
I
like
wouldn't either.
obviously they should. But
No.
Didn't Patrick Mahomes get a huge contract?
a while ago. They haven't renewed his contract or anything. He's like the 11th highest paid quarterback in the NFL now.
11th.
Yeah, so like he's not highly like he's making like 45 million a year on average,
Okay.
which is
Well.
crazy.
You know, Patrick Mahomes
that's-
is a winning player. Nick Bosa
that's
is not a
smart
winning
work.
player. He doesn't care about winning. He cares about making money. And that's
That's
fine,
smart
but
work.
get him off the 49ers roster. Get a winning player in there, like a Jimmy G or something.
Not gonna
Nick
lie though.
Bosa, whenever he
Boy-
signed that contract, he has an obligation to finish it. And if he ain't going to finish it, get him out of my league.
Dang
what I-
right, son.
No Dolphins player would ever do that. I know that for sure.
Dang right.
Christian
son.
Wilkins was going to do that until today.
Didn't I say
So
to get him
who's
out of my facility? I said I
You
didn't want to resign.
you said Nick Bosa's the
Oh.
second best edge rusher, so who's the first best?
Myles Garrett.
Michael
I think
Parsons, yes.
I think Parsons is 3, but they're all so close. Honestly, it's a toss up.
Man.
Well, on that note, this has been fun, and I just hope the NFL regular season is as fun and offers as deep discussions as the ones we had today.
Yeah.
Uh, with that, I
Go
think,
Calvin Simpson Hunt. Committed
yeah,
to Ohio State 4-star.
gonna sign off, and
You
we will
know,
see you
hold
all.
on, Will. I got one more thing to say.
All right.
Well, it better be good.
See you all next week.
Yeah, see you next week.